This look kind of turned out okay. Yeah, it's okay. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Charlotte. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I'm trying to fix this camera here. For some odd reason, it's going the other way. But anyway, how's everybody doing? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're not new, excuse me, welcome back. I know it's been a minute, but we're gonna play in some makeup today. I already did my eyebrows and already moisturized and everything with my face, moisturized and prime my face and everything. But while we playing makeup today, we're gonna do a little story time. And y'all, this story time is called out of body experience, or do you want let's say life after death. No, we'll just say experience and an out of body experience. Okay. Um, I got a friend that I used to hang with years ago. Years ago. Like 30 something years ago. Because she's way older than I am. She's way older than I am. She's probably going in her 70s. But anyway, back in the day when I was a little bit younger and she was too, we used to hang out and stuff like that. And I know her kids and her grandkids, and my oldest daughter used to hang with her oldest grands. So when they were small, so this is how far back me and her was friends. And she's still alive. Sometimes I tell her daughter on Facebook, tell your mother that I say hello and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyway, um, we're gonna go ahead and use this L'Oreal infallible 24-hour fresh wear infallible foundation, and it's in the shade 525. But we're gonna use that. But years ago, uh, this woman here used to stay sick a lot. So one day she got sick, and when she came home from the hospital, I went to go visit her. So I went to go visit her. Now, y'all, we talking about, and I'm using this old elf brush, but so I went to go visit her, and she was like, "Girl, you wouldn't believe what happened to me." And I was like, well, I heard you got sick. What's going on? See, first of all, she was having problems here, issues here with the back of her neck. And me and a friend of mine, an old roommate of mine, we had took her to Charlotte. And then they told her up there that they had to do surgery. So when they did the surgery, she was so used to taking goody powders, which I take BC powders, but she was so used to taking goody powders that she would take too many to me. She would take like two or three of them and put them all together and take them. And to me, that was too much because I used to take a BC powder 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, but I had to stop that. So, she had the surgery and everything, and after she had the surgery, the doctor told her that she couldn't do the goody powders anymore. She had to lay off of it. So I guess that's what happens when you're hard-headed or whatever. But anyway, she got sick and went into the hospital. And I went to go visit her when she came home. And she was like, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Now, this was years ago. And I'm like, what happened? And she was like, she had a headache. And even though the doctor told her not to take goody powders anymore after she had that neck surgery, she went and did anyway. And she said, you know how I take my goody powders? I take like 2 or 3 of them, put them together, and I take them. And I was like, yeah. I said, but the doctor told you not to take them because it was hazardous, or whatever. She said that was the problem. She said, so, to make a long story short, she said she took the goody powders. She said, did she start feeling bad after that? Start feeling worse? Because she took goody powders because she had a headache. So, at this particular time, she stayed in an upstairs apartment. And she had some of her grandkids there. And her daughter, I think at the time, her daughter, both of them was at the house. But when this particular event happened. So, y'all, I'm looking at the old Def Comedy Jam. This one had Steve Harvey, even Bernie Mac in this one here, how they got started. So, she said when she took it, she started feeling bad. She didn't get no better. She started feeling bad. So she got up to go upstairs. She said when she got up to the first flight of stairs, now this is what she's telling me. She said she passed out. And I'm like, well, okay. She said when she woke up, she said both of her daughters were standing right beside her. And she said she asked them what happened. And they said they don't know. They said, Mama, you were going upstairs and you passed out. So she said she got up to go to her bedroom because that's where she was headed. She wanted to lay down. She said she got up. She said, Charlotte, once I got in my bedroom, got through the door of my bedroom, she passed out again. And she said this time when she passed out, she said that she floated through a tunnel. And it was a light at the end of this tunnel. She said when she finally got to the end of the tunnel where the light was at, she was looking down at herself. That the EMS workers were working on her, looking down. She was looking down at herself, looking at the EMS workers working on her. And both of her daughters, and it was like three of her grandkids was standing there crying, saying, "Mama, mama," stuff like that. And she said when she saw that, she said, "Oh, I can't have that, um, I can't leave my kids crying over me like that, and stuff like that." So when she woke up, when she was waking up, she heard one of the EMS workers say, "I got her back. Her heart done started back, and now we got a pulse." And then, everything was coming in and stuff like that, and they put her in the ambulance and took her to the hospital. She stayed in the hospital. I don't know how long she stayed in the hospital because I went to go see her when she got out. And I didn't really know that she was in the hospital until like a couple of days before she came home. So I just went to go see her when she got home. So, yeah, that's what she had told me. And I'm looking at her like, okay, okay. She said, but it was so weird. And I'm like, well, okay, somebody that tell me something like that, I'm going like, oh, well, I have heard stories like on TV and stuff like that, or seen stuff like that on TV, but I actually haven't sat down with a person that actually experienced this here to tell me this. I don't know what to say, you know. So yeah. So now it brings up to a second person. Okay, now I done moved. I've been gone for 15, maybe 20 plus years from North Carolina, and I've moved to South Carolina. So when I moved to South Carolina, when you move somewhere and you be somewhere for a long time, and when you work jobs and stuff like that, you meet and other people and stuff like that. So I met this woman. I was working at this resort because at the time before I got the job that I got now, when I first moved down here, um, I was staying in the other city first. Um, so to get a job, I was working with this temp service. And with this temp service, they guaranteed that wherever you work at, that you be hired permanently and stuff like that. So this particular place I was working at was a resort, nice resort. And came cool with this woman, Caucasian woman, and she was the supervisor over the building that we was cleaning and stuff. Cause this was a resort, a hotel. So y'all, I'm gonna conceal with the Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Concealer, and this is in the shade L3. We're not gonna do too much today. We're just chit chatting, while we're talking. That's why I'm just doing this here. So, yeah, I became friends with the supervisor. Me and her, sit down, laugh and talk and stuff before we go to work. And then there was a other girl. It was just like three of us. It was this other girl, me, and the supervisor, and stuff like that. So, I honestly don't know how the subject came. No, how the subject came up because she had told us. She said, "Well, actually, y'all, I'm just coming back to work. I've been out of work for a month." And we was like, "Well, dang, okay. So what happened?" And she said, "Y'all wouldn't believe it." And we was like, "Okay, so what happened?" So she was like, One day, she was sitting at her computer talking to her son because he was overseas. Now, this right here, this story here came to me, oh my God, I say about my son is 16, so maybe 10 years ago. Now, the first story, this was back home in North Carolina. I was still in North Carolina. And that was like 30 something years ago. When she told me that. Okay, this one now, this was 10 years ago. Okay, so I done moved from North Carolina to South Carolina. And, done met different people and stuff like this. So, yeah, so okay. Trying to keep y'all up. She was like, yeah, y'all wouldn't believe what happened. We were sitting around, I'm like, oh, okay. She said, y'all. She was sitting at the computer, talking to her son because he was overseas. And she said after she got finished talking to him, when she got up, she passed out. Now, her husband was at the house. And she said when she passed out, she said what she experienced was she was in this beautiful place. It was so beautiful. She said the birds were chirping. She said, y'all, I felt so good. She said I wasn't even in no pain, no nothing. She said this place was so beautiful. It was just breathtaking. And she said she wanted to stay. And she said she heard something. Something said, no, you can't stay. She said she looked around. She couldn't find the voice, the person to the voice. She said the voice was kind of deep, but she couldn't find the person that was talking. And he kept saying, no, you can't stay. We're not ready for you yet. You got to go back. She said when she woke up, she had been in ICU for like 4 days. I'm looking at her, the girl that she was telling, we looking at each other. And she said when she woke up, she was like, man, why'd I had to come back? I want to go back to the other place because I didn't feel nothing. It was just beautiful, just a beautiful place. Have y'all ever seen that movie, The Lovely Bones, where that little girl was raped and killed? And it's based on a true story. And her soul will never rest because she was trying to tell her mother and daddy, trying to get to them about what really happened. And towards the end of this movie, she was in I guess you want to say heaven or whatever. And she ran up on all the young girls and ladies that this man had killed. So all of them joined in together because all these people that she ran up on when she was in this, and it was a beautiful place that she was at, where her soul was at. All the other women and young girls and kids that he killed was like there. They all greeted her because they all got killed by the same man. But she said when she woke up, she was like mad because she wanted to go back. She didn't want to be here because that place was so beautiful. And it was like, oh, I finally made it home, or however you want to say it. So I was like, me and the girl looked at each other, was like, okay. Okay. And she was like, for real. I mean, y'all, it's hard to explain it. And, but she's like, yeah, I did not want to come back. I want to stay. I did not want to come back. But this voice kept telling me that I was, they wasn't ready for me yet. I had to go back. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. All right. You know, excuse me, y'all. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 330 to powder my under eye. So that was like I said, what, 10, 11 years ago when she told us that when I was staying in the city. Now I done moved to another city, but I'm still in the same state. And this city is like, what, 45 minutes from the old city that I stayed in South Carolina. So now I'm a caregiver, private duty nurse. Which, I was certified with this back home. But when I moved here to South Carolina, it was hard to find, especially when you don't know your way around. And now I know my way around, stuff like that. So now I left the resort and I started working as a private duty nurse. Okay. I'm a nurse, yeah. So I want to say 3 months ago. 3 months ago, I had a client. And some of these clients, like, just, want somebody to talk to, stuff like that. So when I got to her house, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to talk. And I'm like, okay, nothing wrong with talking, whatever. So we were sitting down talking, and I said, do you want something to eat and stuff? And she was like, no, not right now. And I was like, okay. So she said, I want to talk to you about something. I said, okay. She said, how old are you? And I told her, whatever. She said, have you ever heard or talked to anybody that had a out of body experience? Now this woman I just had her 3 months ago. That she was like 81, 82, something like that. Because sometimes I never do ask the client what their age, but sometimes they do tell me. So I was like, okay, here we go again. And this is the third time somebody's telling me something in between these years, because I done left there and come here, and that was like, the first one was 30 something years ago. The second one like 10 years ago. So here we go with a third one. Okay. I got to hear what she got to say. The first one was floating through a tunnel and coming out to a light. Well, seen a light at the end of the tunnel. Got to the end of the tunnel and looked over at herself. Looked down at herself. The second one was like in paradise or heaven, in a beautiful place. Now, what this one's about, this is what I'm thinking. So she said she was sick back here. When she told me this 3 months ago, she said this happened 4 years ago. She was sick in the hospital. Her husband sitting in the chair in the hospital room. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Where we at now? We done the contour. We got the contour. Um, and we're gonna use the Elf Camo Concealer to contour. So, I usually put 2 dots. I put a dot, dot. So, she was like, she was sick, and she was in the hospital bed. She was at the hospital because this woman got all kind of problems. So she was like, her husband was there because at the time he was still living. So, yeah, so, she said, I'm going to tell you about my outer body experience. She said, have you ever heard anybody talk about an outer body experience? I said, no, ma'am. So she said she was laying in the hospital bed. I don't know what happened because she didn't really get down into the details. So because she went straight forward. So she said she was laying in the hospital bed. All of a sudden, her soul come out of her body, floated out of her body, and stood right beside her hospital bed. And was looking at her. She said it was like me standing there looking at me laying in the hospital bed. And she said all of a sudden the machines went off. Cold blue, cold blue, cold blue, cold blue. Everybody know what cold blue is. And she said her soul turned over and looked at her husband and said, I'm crashing. That's me, honey. I love you. I'm dying. I'm crashing. I'm crashing. But her husband couldn't hear it. She said with the soul talking to her husband. And I was like, okay. She said, yeah. She said it was calling cold blue. Cold blue. They were calling, and they come in with the crash cart and stuff. And then she said, when they got her back to breathing or whatever, what was going on, then her soul disappeared. Like it went back into her body. It floated up and came back into her body. And I was like, well, I guess you wasn't ready at the time. She said, well, I thought I was, but I guess you're right because I'm still here. And her husband passed away. She said her husband passed away a year after that happened. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, okay. So now we got one that they so come up out of the body and looked at them in the hospital bed, right there at the hospital. Because you know how you see shows and stuff like that, like when people get ready to die, they dying and their soul is standing right there beside their hospital bed looking at them and stuff. This is exactly what this woman said. her soul did. That's when she told me, she said, have you ever had an out of body experience? I never had one. And Lord knows, I hope I don't never had one. Oh my goodness. So, but things like that, you know, you be thinking, you know. So last week, I had a client, and they had these magazines in their house. They had a lot of magazines. Lord knows they had a lot of them. So I got one of them. And this one is called The New Yorker. The New Yorker. Y'all see the date on it? So, it had an article in here, which I was reading. Near-death experiences. And I'm like, oh, let me read this here, you know. Okay, yeah, we're gonna, okay, yeah, I used the e.l.f. contour palette to powder contour. Then I used my Wet n Wild bronzer also. But yeah, back to what I was saying. In the article I was reading, it was talking about this. It says disappointing near-death experience. When I was sitting there reading it and stuff, I was like, wow, so this stuff must be actually true and stuff like that, you know. Okay. So it was one that, excuse me, y'all. It was a couple of them, actually, all of them that kind of got me. It was one here that says, as the surgeon and the nurses worked to restart my heart, I floated above the operating table and found myself looking down on the entire scene. That reminds me of what my girl told me 30 years ago. But since she wasn't on no operating table, she had passed out on her bedroom floor. You remember I told y'all she said when she went through the tunnel of light, she was looking down at herself, at the EMS working on her, and her kids standing around her crying. I was looking down on the entire scene. I noticed then that the surgeon with whom I had been flirting during our pre-op consultation had a pronounced bald spot. After my recovery, things just weren't the same between us. So actually, to me, it was like, okay, you was looking at them working on you, trying to get you back and stuff like that. And it was another one said, that this is the one too. I was passing through a long tunnel of light. At the end of it, I saw all my deceased relatives dressed in white, waiting for me, loving with the exception of Aunt Sonia, who said, whoa, sometimes someone put a few pounds. I was like, okay, so things like this really do happen. What do y'all think? Yeah, I'm gonna just use this Hard Candy eyeshadow palette, and I'll probably use this color right here. But what do y'all think? Um, have y'all or experienced it, or do y'all know anybody that experienced it? Like have y'all talked to anyone that experienced it? What do y'all think? Me, I'm starting to believe it now because it's just too many people out here that's saying the same thing. And see, something like that, I would never believe it because I'd be like, nah. But if you got a lot of people saying the same thing, going through the same experience, um, then it must be true, right? That's what I will figure. I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all leave me a comment down in my comment section and let me know what y'all think about something like that because, like I said, I don't know. It's got to be true. Um, Actually, my girl told me that she had one. She's another one. Because one day, I don't know how that subject came up with me and her. We was talking about abusive husbands, I think. And her ex-husband, which is deceased, he was very abusive. And she had told me some things. And she said, I think one day he had hit her or something, or choked her. That's what it was. He had choked her out. And she said when she was laid down on the floor, passed out, she saw her dead mother. And she saw her mother reached out to her and said, "Come on, my child. Come with me. Come home with me." And she said when she was reaching out to her mother to go with her mother was fading away. And she said she was just reaching like, "Wait a minute, Mom. Wait a minute. I'm coming." And her mother was fading away. What happened was she said her husband had threw some water on her and she had woke up. So I was like, okay. You know, yeah. So, yeah. And it was another one that had said, I haven't never heard nobody say nothing about this one here, but you know what? I saw this a lot, on TV. So this person right here said, as I laid on the putting green grass, receiving CPR from the EMTs, my life began flashing before my eyes, as when I was a baby in a crib, then a toddler pulling in a wagon. I was 5 years old getting a new puppy for my birthday. It was all along that it was flashing, flashing, flashing until my life, which had which I had 60 years to go, got stuck at my second grade Christmas pageant. When I had an accident in front of the entire school, I had to relieve an awful scene, the embarrassment, respond to the audience. So, hmm, you see what I'm saying, y'all? Things must be true because I actually heard people on TV say that, they experienced going through a tunnel and coming, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, you know, stuff like that. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Do I still believe in it? I'm getting there. Do I want to experience it? No, I don't. I don't want to experience it until it's time for me to experience it, you know. But yeah, evidently it's got to be true. Y'all, you know I'm using my same blush, so it's no need to asking me what blush are you using. The blush I always use, my go-to blush. And I just use that one shade and then eyeshadow palette. Yeah, I had problems putting on one of these lashes. Yeah, I started not to wear none, but I said I'd go ahead and just put them on because I'm off today. Today is my only day off. I got a full week next week. And it's just like my week's been crazy, stuff like that. But yeah, anyway. So I'm going to use a black opal finishing powder to set the rest of my face. But yeah, y'all comment below and let me know what y'all feel about it, or have anybody, any one of y'all has experienced it, or do y'all know anyone that experienced an out of body experience? Because like I said, I done had 3 people to come to me at 3 different times. I mean, look how it was not like back to back to back. Look how it was spread it out, you know. Like years apart from this here. So yeah, so I just want to know if y'all knew anybody that experienced something like this here. I'm not even going to use a lip liner. I'm just going to use my regular go-to matte lipstick from Revlon. And it's in the shade 265. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I'm cooking yeah. Might put a little gloss on top of that. The gloss that I'm using is from Tressabelle, and it's Fuchsia Love. That's the shade. But yeah, a little bit better. For some reason now I like to use my fingers when I do my nose. But I haven't put on any makeup in a while because, like I said, I've been working. So I haven't had time. Then I had to give my face a break anyway, so yeah. Um it's been really crazy right now. Cause they've been killing me with this. Okay, y'all, this is the completed look. Well, we're gonna this is the completed look. We're gonna leave it right here. And one thing about this wig here, it sheds real bad. Real bad. That's one thing I hate about it. The shedding on it. I mean, because it's like every day, constantly, I'm pulling the hairs from it. Yeah, so. Anyway, y'all, this is the completed look. This is the end of this vlog. I hope y'all enjoyed the little story time, the little chit chat, planning makeup. But yeah, y'all let me know how y'all enjoyed this story time about out-of-body experiences. And let me know in my comment box if y'all experienced it or you knew someone that experienced, like a grandma, mommy, auntie, uncle, grandfather, cousin, friends, best friends, significant other, whoever that y'all know that experienced something like this here. But yeah, I thought I would just come on here and do that little story time with y'all with that. And I'm still trying and wanting to do a live. So when, I don't know. I was being supposed to have did one with y'all, but like I said, I got pretty busy, and today is really my only day off because my week has been crazy and stuff like that. I've been having 3 to 4 clients in a day now, and it's like I'm getting off. I go in so early, then I get off so late and stuff like that. So yeah, but anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this little chit chat, this little vlog, this little story time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Come on, y'all. Okay, we're doing it, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And I really appreciate my new subscribers. And let's try to get some more, okay? And until then, I will give y'all more story time and stuff like that. But everybody take care of themselves. Everybody take care of themselves. Everybody stay hydrated. It's been hot here, y'all. Believe me. We've been... Oh my goodness, the humidity has been like 104 to 110. I'm not even going nowhere today. My son tried to get me to come out the house, go out the house today. I told him no. We're not going nowhere today. It's just too hot outside. Tomorrow's my daughter's birthday, so she is turning 32. But I don't know what she got planned, but I got to work, and that's a shame. I got to work on her birthday. Well, I should have took yesterday off, but I wasn't thinking, because I was thinking that her birthday was Monday instead of tomorrow, which today is July 30th. Yes, and it's like what, 2 going on 3 in the afternoon. It's Saturday. Okay. All right. So yeah, so y'all don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and give this video a thumbs up. Until then, I will be seeing y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy this video.